Hello, and welcome to Mess World, a podcast dedicated to discussing the highs and lows of pop culture every month. I'm Jessica DeFino, and I write the newsletter Flesh World.
And I'm Emily Kirkpatrick, and I write the newsletter I Heart Mess. Welcome.
Welcome, we're back.
November.
Yeah. And we both are the hosts of the Lowbrow Book Club,
We are.
which we need to plug because later we're going to be talking a little bit about the book that we're reading this month, which is Naomi Klein's Doppelganger, which is incredible and so relevant to almost everything we have to talk about today, I think.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it's amazing how expansive the book is itself, like how much ground she's covering from like modern day MAGA movement all the way through like the Jewish diaspora and Hitler. And it's amazing how much ground she's working through and how right she feels about everything. It's just, it makes so much sense. It does connect all together in a crazy way.
It connects to everything. And like less explicitly stated in the book are the connections to beauty culture. But I think there are so many. And we'll be talking about that on Monday night. Maybe this podcast will be out before our discussion.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think so.
It could be. It should be out before the discussion. So if you're interested, as we talk a little bit more about Doppelganger today, you can register and join our live discussion on Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. What day is that? December 1st?
December 1st.
And also, we should mention that we're going to keep discussing Doppelganger into December just because of the holidays, and there's so much to talk about and so much supplementary stuff that we want to look at and talk about. So if you feel like you can't catch up or you need more time with it or whatever, you will have plenty of time. We'll have another month of talking about it. So I would love to see you guys there. It is so relevant. And as you'll see today, so relevant to so many trends and things that are happening. Yeah.
Yeah. And before we get into all of today's juicy topics, something that I was thinking about is that we got a really lovely comment on our last podcast that was like, this is one of the only places I can like listen to something for 2 hours and there's no ads. And it hit me like, oh, wow, that is exciting. And I don't even think about it because, of course, we don't do ads.
I love that both of us were like, oh, yeah, there are no ads. Oh, we do talk for 2 hours without interruption.
It just struck me as something we should call out at the beginning of the episode. This is an ad-free space, an affiliate link-free space, and we're just shooting the shit without interruption from advertisers.
And where else do you get that? You don't even get that on like TikTok or Instagram.
No,
we are barraged with that. Like
it is pretty rare, I think.
Have a little brain break. It's nice.
Yeah. What should we start with today, Emily?
I mean, I need to start with with some quick updates.
Okay.
I just was realizing this month a couple of things unfolded from what we talked about last month that were things that we discussed that are being proven true again. For starters, I just wanted to tell everyone we did finally get a pumpkin patch photo. Don't worry.
Thank God.
No fears, no worries. We got one singular pumpkin patch photograph from Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. And I'm a little mad at myself because I do feel like I should have guessed that they would be the ones.
It would be
because they are a little frantic for attention and good press specifically. And the pumpkin patch so delivers that, and especially in a season when nobody's doing it. It's a good look. And also because, Meghan's whole thing is like Martha Stewart, Montecito light, like folksy, outdoorsy, natural granola, and a pumpkin patch fake farm scenery is very that.
It checks all of those boxes.
And so she got to do some like good photo shoots with her kids running through like a field of gourds, and I'm just happy to see it.
Yeah, me too.
I still think it's weird that we only saw one, but I'm at least we got one.
It's odd.
And then another update I had for you is Janelle Monáe wore one of those. We talked about the Bodies on Bodies trend last month, and Janelle Monáe attended the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony wearing one of the Tom Brown suits from this past Paris Fashion Week that has like 1 million arms and legs.
So many arms, so many legs. I loved it.
And it's just so good. Yeah, it's so good, and it's so the trend that we're talking about, and it's so interesting to see on the red carpet. And yeah, I just thought that was very exciting. And it did inspire me to get my shit together and actually start outlining the hyper-real bodies essay. And I did pitch it to the New York Times last week, so they will be rejecting me soon, and I will be able to write that.
This will not be on the New York
readers.
Times, but it will probably be on iHeartMess.
Yeah, it will be in my newsletter, probably behind a paywall, so sign up for that.
It'll be on the New York Times in like a year.
Right. They'll be catching up with me at the end of 2026. I'm sure it'll be their prediction for 2027. So something to look forward to there. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about is, again, as always, I know that I was joking around last month about the Kardashians being obsessed with me, but since then, they did one more thing that is, like, so heavily suspicious to me, like, I kind of can't believe it actually happened, which is, like, beyond first of all, Kim's been wearing a bunch of giant sunglasses that obscure her entire face, as I told her to do. But
Perfect.
that aside, she did, an editorial recently for this magazine I'd never heard of called Re-Edition, and,
I don't know that magazine.
I wasn't familiar with it, and it was styled by Jaleel Weaver, who is her new stylist, Rihanna's old stylist, her new stylist, and he's
Oh,
doing the best he can. He's really putting in the work to make her wear cool stuff, and she's really, like, curbing him at every turn. But he styled this editorial, and in a number of the pictures, she has, like, an outfit that is fully painted on her body, like a body paint
oh, yes, I saw this. It's like a
outfit.
kinda like corporate girl boss sort of look,
Yes. Yes, it's
like
like
a
a
tie, suit
suit.
and
Yeah,
tie
it's like a
painted
suit
on the
that's been
body.
trompe l'oeil painted onto her nude body,
Mhm.
and that this is something I explicitly told her to do in August of last year. Like, you can
Incredible.
go back to the new it
Incredible.
literally says, "Kim would be wise to do this." It's so weird that she hasn't done this yet. And because okay, to contextualize why I was saying that, I'm I'm obsessed with the Claremont twins, and I should say I'm obsessed with them aesthetically. I'm obviously not obsessed with their personalities, which,
Mhm.
maybe led them to commit some crimes that they went to prison for,
Right, right.
and maybe potentially killed a John, allegedly, I don't know, whose credit cards they stole, and then they
This is
went to
news
jail
to
for a
me.
lot.
I'm
Oh,
not
really?
familiar with the Claremont twins lore,
Uh,
but wow.
oh, I'm deep in their lore. I don't know why. They were kind of like Yeezy adjacent for a number of
Okay.
years. He used them in that Twins campaign that I'm always
Oh,
referencing.
yes. Mhm.
But they were always kind of just, like, in the Kanye orbit, so I was, like, aware of them, and then when I saw how they dress, I became absolutely obsessed with them because they just have these really they're, like, very classical video vixens, but they have, like, very extreme plastic surgery bodies in addition to that, so it's like
Mhm.
talk about hyper real. It's
Yeah.
like
Talk about
enormous
doppelgangers.
chest. Yeah, enormous chest, enormous ass, like very much modeled off Kim Kardashian, but like taken to the next level of extreme.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, they always dress as twins. Like they always wear identical outfits with each other and they're like they dabble in high fashion in this way that's like super interesting and I could never understand why like big magazines didn't do editorials with them in like super high fashion because it's just a very interesting
Mm,
aesthetic
yeah.
and a very interesting I'm always interested in that juxtaposition. Anyway, last summer, they posted photos where they had done body paint outfits, and I was just like, "Brilliant." Like, in a world of
Why
extreme
isn't Kim doing
nudity
this? Yeah.
yeah, like, that is so funny and, like, interesting and trompe l'oeil and, like, you're naked, but you're not naked, which is what we're seeing now in the Bodies on Bodies trend, and yeah, and I
Yeah.
said, "Kim, why aren't you doing this?" And now she's
And now
doing
she's
it.
done it. She's done it. You're really an oracle, a
Thank
Kardashian
you.
oracle,
Thank you.
an
It's a sick
industry oracle, but
yeah,
Kardashian
no, it's a
specifically.
sickness, and if I wasn't I don't want to be mind melded with them. Is what
No.
I'll say, like, I don't wish this upon anyone, this is not something I cultivated on purpose, but
Just
now it's, like,
happened.
my cross to bear, yeah,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I wish they would just let me help them.
Someday,
Yeah, one day.
someday you're gonna be
It's
getting
gonna
those
be
big
well,
bucks.
it'll be too late.
My what I wanna start off by talking about today is the wave of sort of anti-plastic surgery essays that
Mm,
have kind of taken over Substack specifically. I don't know
yeah,
how much wider the influence is, but it's definitely like a Substack trend as of late. Um, and I have some sort of conflicting feelings on them.
sure.
I mean, there's things in all these pieces that I agree with, and then there's things in a lot of these pieces that I don't necessarily agree with, and I think it's because it's very not only difficult, but just kind of strange to lump, like, all plastic surgery together, all
Yeah,
cosmetic surgery together under one big umbrella and then be like, "I am anti this."
yeah,
Um, and I think there's, like, a lack of nuance there sometimes that, like, leads to these weird complications of thought. Like,
mm,
I don't know. I like to think of plastic surgery, not I like to think of this is what it is. Plastic surgery is a tool, and there are plenty of ways to use that tool for, in ways that, like, support a person's flourishing, in ways that don't, in ways that are
Mm,
great for the individual, in ways that are, maybe not so great for the collective. So, I don't know, when I'm writing about it, I try to be mindful of, like, how that tool is used, like, to say it's all good or all bad is like saying, like, every use of a hammer is good or every use of a hammer is bad. Like, it matters how it's used. It can be used to, like, build a
tool.
house or, like, bludgeon somebody to death.
Yeah.
And, so, yeah, I think a lot of what is left out of some of these essays that are going viral is the impact on the trans community, number 1, like, a lot of
Mm,
them are leaving out gender affirming care, and then it comes off as transphobic because it's like
yeah.
you're ignoring a huge part of the reality of what the cosmetic surgery industry offers to other groups of people
Mhm.
besides the one group that you are concerned with at the moment. Um, and so, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to, like, bring that up because I do feel like sometimes my work is getting lumped in with some of these essays, and where I do feel like an affinity for it in some ways, I also feel like a distance from it in a lot of other ways. And I think it's important to, like, bring up the nuance and bring up that
Yeah.
distance. I don't know.
Right, I think it's a spectrum. I mean, like, it's a tool that can be used to help and to harm, and it's a tool that can make some people, yeah, feel, like, gender affirmed, or I don't know, the first thought I had was, people getting, like, skin removal surgery after, like, extreme weight loss or something, like,
Completely. Or
there are
reconstructive
or
surgery.
reconstructive surgery, or, like, yeah, having, like, a
Yeah.
dog bite your face off and being able
Right,
to build back
completely.
your face is a form of, cosmetic surgery, but
Yeah. I
I
I,
don't
like,
know.
often try to think about it in terms of my own family. Like, my family is a big inspiration in the back of my mind when
Mhm.
I am writing about beauty culture because so many people in my immediate family have had surgery for various reasons. Like, my brother is trans, he's had gender affirming surgery. My mother, has breast cancer, she has had,
Right.
reconstruction and a
Yeah.
breast lift after that. So there are just, like, so many other ways to use it, and I also think, like, just because there are, like, these affirming, healthful ways to use these tools, that shouldn't be a reason to say, "Oh, plastic surgery is good," and any critique of beauty culture, plastic surgery culture is inherently, like, transphobic or something. Like, I
Mhm.
think it's weird to also use the trans community to discount the wider harms of beauty culture and plastic surgery culture for the collective. Like,
Sure.
you know?
Sure,
I
because,
don't know.
while gender affirming surgeries can make someone feel more like the gender they feel they are, it's also like that is a small like, there's also a part of that that is about, I think, passing or feeling safe
Yes,
in the world, which
completely.
is also the standards that you're talking about, that the oppressive standards of beauty culture, like, these are you have
100%.
to pass, you have to look feminine, you have to look masculine, like, there are these
Yeah.
tropes of beauty that you have to fulfill, and if your body or your appearance is aberrant in any way, right, like, that makes you be unsafe in
Yes.
this world, and that's a problem, you
Completely, like,
know?
the increasing demands of performing this unattainable ideal of femininity or masculinity, as we're
Yeah,
seeing more and more in the beauty space, like, hurts the trans community as well,
yeah,
and so must be critiqued for the overall well-being of all, in a way that's not like, "Oh, all plastic surgery is bad or harmful," or whatever. I don't know, I was thinking about it in terms of this piece that I just wrote for The Guardian about facelifts. So I
mm,
got a question from someone who was like, I do not want a facelift, but I kind of do want a facelift because it's becoming so normal and, like, what's
mm,
happening to me. And, like, they explicitly asked for me to convince them not to get a facelift, which I thought was, like, a really fun question.
yeah,
Um, and I don't know, in the editing process, I had a friend work on it with me, like, after I was done, just, like, give it a once over, what comes up for you. And I had, like, some reservations because it was a piece that ended up being, broadly anti-facelift.
mm,
And some of the concerns that came up were like, "Oh, you're not mentioning gender affirming surgery. Are you anti that too? How can this piece be, like, misconstrued as being transphobic?" And so I was like, "Okay, well, a facelift is not gender affirming care. People of all genders age and don't look the same over time." Like, that's where I think being specific about what surgeries we're talking about and what inform those surgeries, what standards inspire those surgeries, what standards those surgeries perpetuate are really important. Like, I feel fine being pretty generally. A facelift is not necessarily a healthful application of plastic surgery in a way that I wouldn't apply that to all surgery all the time, you know?
Yeah. I just was realizing my own like, my own internal biases. Because even when you said like, there's something so feminized about, like, facelift,
Mhm.
and even when you're like, "It's for aging," I was like, "Oh, right, like, a facelift is for like, it's" you know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like, it's almost been rebranded as, like, this is just something women do at a
right,
certain point in their life, and it's like, "No, no, it's something everyone does because culture is telling you it's like, you can't age, you can't look old," and it's like,
right.
right, that's the framework
Yes.
of the
It's
facelift.
definitely more normalized for women, but I think to call youth like a feminine quality
But
is
it's almost like they're divorcing it from even aging, where it's just like tightness or something, or like plump I don't know, like,
yes.
they're selling all kind of like the side effects of it without saying like, we're doing because you look old and ugly." You know what? I don't know if I'm making any
No,
sense when I
you
say
are
that.
making sense completely, and I think that's, like, this is part of the confusion of thinking through these issues and talking through these issues with nuance and understanding and, like, I don't know, it's just something that I think about all of the time because while I am generally criticizing beauty culture, there are uses of these tools that the data shows, like, the opposite. They are
Right.
health affirming, they are identity affirming.
And that's also why beauty, like, it does get away with so much almost, is because it does have this, like, scientific side, it has this helpful side, like, I don't
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I think just, like, being mindful of this and, like, making an effort to think through all the uses of these different tools
yeah,
is, like, important not just to me, but to, like, the criticism of beauty culture at large, and I don't know, it's just something that I'm always thinking about and maybe don't always get right or maybe, like, leave out of a piece because of,
yeah.
word count or whatever, but yeah, I don't know. It's just been a big topic on Substack as of late, so I wanted to.
Totally. I think it's also just difficult, like, beauty is I mean, what I learn through your work all the time is, like, how ingrained and normalized certain aspects of beauty or the language we use are, and so it's like,
Right.
it's so invisible, it's often hard to even see or to, like, extrapolate, like, all the actual ramifications or the actual meaning of, like, how we talk about stuff, and so, I don't know, sometimes I think it's just, part pieces get pulled to the surface and we don't and it's hard for us to, like, see the full picture or put things in context or yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I completely agree with and definitely wanna write more about. Like, I think a lot of the issues with beauty culture are actually, like, an issue of language and how
mm,
we're talking about things and mystification through kind of feel-good language a lot of the time, rather than explicitly stating, "Okay, here's what is happening, here's why it's happening, here are the effects it's having on the population physically, psychologically, blah,
totally.
blah, blah." Just so much of that is mystified through language and makes it really hard to, like, think through and write about and
Yeah, I think you pointed that out even in the last podcast episode where you were talking about, like, the cuts, like, Wrinkle Week or whatever, and it was,
oh,
like, a
yeah.
no judgment
Yes,
guide to, like, facelifts or whatever, and it's like, right, so
completely. I wrote about that in my last Guardian piece too. It ended on, like, "Am I being judgmental?" Like, yeah, but everyone like, we have to judge. That's, like, part
beauty
of
is
the human
judgment.
condition. Beauty is judgment, and, like, I'd rather judge facelifts as being weird than aging as being weird.
Sure.
But again, maybe that's a not very nuanced, point of view as well. So,
Well,
room to improve.
In Brian Johnson's opinion, it's not very nuanced. Never die.
Never die. Okay, the end rant. That is my little rant on surgery criticism for now.
Okay, mine I now have, like, the opposite of a rant, it's just, like, a pure fascination.
Yes.
Pure wonderment at what Cardi B has done with her umbilical cord.
Oh my gosh.
So, Cardi I am just obsessed with it. I can't stop thinking about this, and I'd love to know your thoughts on it. Cardi B just had her 4th baby, on November 4th with her boyfriend, Stefon Diggs, who's, like, the Patriots wide receiver, and she I guess she didn't share this video, but the lady who made it shared the video and, like, tagged Cardi B in it, and she had her son's umbilical cord turned into a gold heart-shaped pendant, and,
Gorgeous.
we're gonna have to, like, link out to the photo or something because you really have to see it to truly understand what I'm speaking of because it's hard to kinda wrap your mind around, I
I
think.
saw the picture.
It's gonna be burned in your brain
Incredible.
for life, yeah. So, I was looking up, like, who did this, why they did this, how they did this. It was done by Julianne Marie Corona of Mommy Made Encapsulation. So, Mommy Made Encapsulation turns your placenta into placenta pills that
Mhm.
you can eat.
Yeah.
And this is actually just a bonus feature that they offer as they're turning your placenta into pills. So, this is like an add-on.
We can also just turn your umbilical cord into a piece
Yeah.
of jewelry.
While we're here, like, why not let's just
No big deal.
toss in that umbilical cord. So, the 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 main thing you're paying for is the encapsulation, that's $500, and
Okay.
then you can get this umbilical heart add-on for $50, and then there's also an option to do something I've never heard of well, I'd never heard of this gold umbilical cord either, I guess I should say. I'm not in this market, but there's also a $65 placenta print add-on where they,
What's a
like
placenta print?
great question. They take your placenta, they dip it in paint, and then they, like, press it onto a white piece of paper,
Okay.
like a
Yeah.
stamp.
Like baby footprint on a piece of paper sort
Like
of
baby
thing, yeah.
footprint, yes, but it is your placenta,
Your
and
own
it looks
placenta.
kinda like a tree,
Okay.
so you could, like, frame
Lovely.
it. So that's cool.
Honestly, I feel like $50 is very affordable. I
Well,
was
and
expecting this to be a lot more okay.
well,
Okay.
when you dig into what's happening here, you realize why it's $50 despite the gold, patina. What's happening here. But also, I just wanna explain also I'm sorry, I went deep into Julianne's About Me page, and I'm just obsessed with her trajectory in her life and her explanation of what she's doing. So, she graduated from college, she worked for her mom for 6 years doing marketing, and then
Okay.
she decided to take a year off. And she says, in that year, she met her husband and they became pregnant with their first child. She knew right away that she wanted to do something, in all caps, with her placenta, but what? And I just love that as, like, the journey that got you into this,
This
like, "I have to do something with this placenta." Like, "God, what can I do? What can I do?" And, like, this is what was born out of it
That's
is
like
so
such an
incredible.
inspiring origin story,
I know.
honestly.
It's so beautiful, and then she said so she decided on encapsulation is what she wanted to do with the placenta ultimately, and then she
Mhm.
couldn't find anyone in California who did encapsulation, so she trained under a specialist and then got a blood-borne pathogens and OSHA's safe food handling certificates, and then she went to something called Placenta University that I didn't Google, but I am obsessed with the idea of going to Placenta University.
I need, like, an exposé on placenta university.
I'd love to know what's happening in there and, like, who are the, like, famous alumni of Placenta
Mhm.
University aside from Julianne. But so she does this for, like, every celebrity and reality TV star. She has a list, like, of names. I don't know if she should be maybe naming all of them. I guess it doesn't matter, but
Yeah,
it's very funny to just, like, fully put all of
I
your
wanna
celebrity clients
know.
on there's a lot. There's a lot. Chrissy Teigen is the first one that I read, and I was like, "That makes
Okay.
sense."
Yeah,
I'm surprised
completely.
Kourtney
I
Kardashian
wonder,
is
like,
on
how
there.
she got into the celebrity space.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
Like,
kind
who
of
found her first, and then it's
that's
probably
a
word of mouth.
fantastic maybe I should be interviewing this lady
I
actually
th
now that we're talking
I
about it.
would love a Mess Investigates Placenta
Mm,
University.
okay. I'm gonna write that down. I might need to actually do that. But, yeah, I don't know how she got into the celebrity space except maybe that, like, as she said, like, she's maybe the only one doing it? I mean, I assume now there's a lot of people doing it because it is kind of
There
like a
must be.
trendy to encapsulate your placenta.
Yeah.
But her saying that she couldn't find anyone when she was pregnant makes me think, like, "Oh, maybe she's just, like, the gal." And so everybody goes to her. Anyway, getting back to the gold umbilical heart, the most important thing going on here. She shared the creation process on an Instagram video. And so basically, you take the umbilical cord, you take a wire, and you stick the wire through the center of the umbilical cord, like threading it, and then you shape it into the shape of a heart, trim it, dehydrate it, and then it's not gold plated, it's gold chromed. And so I was looking into what the hell gold
Yeah.
chroming is. It's just chrome that's the color of gold.
Whoa!
So it's just chrome. There's no gold involved at all. Which also I'm
Okay.
like, does Cardi know that? Because I feel like Cardi would have wanted real gold. But
Right.
you
It
gotta
also
know if you're
feels
paying
like an
$50.
easy add-on for this woman to invest in different options for plating or
Yeah, because
chroming.
from again, I'm not an expert in this, but from what I was reading, the, like, chroming process is the same as a gold plating process, like, I forget what it's electro something. People out there will
I don't
probably
know.
know, I don't know. This is not my forte. But it just seemed like not the process seems the same is what I'm saying
Yeah.
between the chroming and the gold plating, so she should be offering, like, a more premium VIP I
Mhm.
mean,
This
especially if
is
you're doing all these celebs, like
Emily's business consultation services again.
yeah, once again, just giving you some crucial feedback that's gonna take your business into the stratosphere. This very successful placenta encapsulation lady to the stars. But I would just think, like, wouldn't celebrity I don't know, I would imagine celebrities would want something fancier.
A little
Anyway,
more luxurious.
I'm absolutely obsessed with this idea, especially when I thought it was real gold, because I just love one of my great passions in life is celebrities spending their money in, like, really outlandish, foolish, obscene ways, and this seems
Mhm.
like such a wonderful example of that. And also, I don't know, it immediately called to mind, like, memento moris from, like, Victorian period, which are, like,
Completely.
for people who don't know, they're like charms or pieces of jewelry that were kind of like meant to memorialize the passing of a loved one. Sometimes they would include like pieces of the dead person's hair or
Mhm. When I worked at Alexis Batar in Venice, California, we had, in addition to the regular Alexis Batar jewelry, there was, an antiques closet in
mm,
every retail location, and Alexis was obsessed with memento mori, so we had a
yeah,
ton of, like, Victorian or older, I can't remember what the time frame was, hair jewelry,
that's so cool.
bone jewelry, it was
Whoa.
incredible, yeah.
Yeah, my mom is I know about this because my mom is obsessed with memento moris, and we own a couple pieces of hair art, if you're familiar with hair Victorian hair art.
Mhm.
I
Love
will
that.
say it's very disturbing to me, but it is incredibly beautiful. Like, it is
Yeah,
really masterpieces. I don't know how I guess they had a lot of free time is how they were doing that, but
yeah.
it's really detailed, like, intricate work. Anyway, I love that kind of, like, morbid Victorian, so I do think celebrities should be spending more money on that. Anyway, it's like the inverse of a memento mori, a memento vivere. I guess I don't
Oh,
speak Latin.
yes. That's
But
beautiful.
it's a reminder to live is what memento vivere is, which I think is beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so I thought that was cool, but I was expecting a little more from Cardi. You know, like, I don't know, I
Mm.
think she should, like, turn this into, like, a bangle, like a diamond-encrusted bangle or something.
Maybe with baby number 5.
Maybe with more to look forward to. There's still time
Mhm,
yet.
mhm. I love this as a segue because, a little preview, I have been thinking about 2026 beauty predictions,
That's
and
fine.
something that we've talked about before is the rise of fetal skincare, which
Mm,
I think is going to become a focus,
tell
piggybacking
Julianne.
off. Yeah.
Tell Julianne to get on the ground floor right now.
Mhm. There's
Placenta
gotta be
skincare.
something, yes, there's gotta be some sort of placental skincare thing that she can do. But I was thinking about that because of all of the buzz about Shay Mitchell's new skincare line for three-year-olds,
Mhm.
and, like, how much more ridiculous can this get? And I do think fetal skincare will be the future, but for now, I think we need to talk about Shay Mitchell's skincare brand.
Can I also just ask, is this not also just like a knockoff of that Christian Dior infant skincare line? And also, who was the first to
Completely.
do an infant skincare line? Because it feels like it was Dior to me, but I don't know that for sure.
It was before Dior. Dior was
Yeah.
like this was Dior I think is 2023. They
Cool.
launched like an infant baby skincare line, but
All scented as well.
all
Just
scented,
put
yeah,
that out
no,
there.
all horrible for anyone's skin, but particularly infant skin, which again, I wrote about for The Guardian if you're looking for a detailed review of that. But yeah, so last week, this month, Shay Mitchell launched a line called Rinny, which is skincare for kids. And the star product in the campaign photos was a sheet mask. And they say it's for people 3 years old and up, children 3 years old and up. And I was shocked by the public reaction to this because I have been talking about toddler sheet masks for 4 years now. Like, Rinny is not the first to do this. Shay Mitchell is not the first to do this. This has been around for a long time. particularly in, like, the K-beauty space. There's, like, lots of,
Mm,
like, childish sort of patterned sheet masks that have been around for a long time. Um, but yeah, so, I mean, the internet, the media, the, like, regular news has blown up in response to these sheet masks for toddlers, and the reaction has been, like, largely negative, which I find so surprising because the reaction to, like, baby,
yeah,
child, tween skincare over the past, like, 3, 4 years has been like, "Let girls be girls. It's totally fine. This is what little girls do."
totally. But I do feel like this is just my theory, but I do feel like the rise of, like, tween, extreme skincare and beauty interest has, like, exhausted parents in a way where they're like, "No more, like, we can't not another layer of this," like, that they have to
Yeah.
draw the line for their own sanity, you know what I mean? Because 'Cause
Yes.
they're already, like, fighting off children in Sephora.
Completely, and I think they should draw the line. The
Of
line
course.
needs to be drawn for sure. Um, but yeah, I was initially, like, sort of heartened by this reaction of just, like, complete backlash
Yeah.
to Rinny and Shay Mitchell's
Has Shay
sheet
responded
masks.
to it at all?
Okay, she has. Okay, I'll skip ahead in my notes to talk about the Shay reaction. So she actually went on, I think it was the Today Show, some morning news show a couple of days after the launch to address the backlash, and she sort of doubled down. She doubled down on, like, why this is totally fine.
Okay.
Um, okay, let me find my notes because I went deep on all of this. But so her reaction was like, this is what girls do. We all, like, play it with our mom's skincare and makeup growing up. And she was responding specifically to the backlash of, like, it's ridiculous to expose 3-year-old girls to beauty standards. And her
Mm,
response was like, these girls aren't thinking about beauty standards when they put on a sheet mask. They're thinking about, like, the cooling sensation and how fun it is. And, like, they're not thinking about beauty standards. And it's like, okay, yes, that's that's the problem. Like, we internalize these things before we can
right.
articulate these things, and we have plenty of data to show that. I think the book Beauty Sick by psychologist Dr. Renee Engeln is really interesting here because she does a ton of interviews with, like, preschool age children and pulls from a ton of data on young kids and how they've internalized beauty standards. And it's like, yes, we internalize these things
Yeah.
before we're able to articulate what it is we've taken away as a lesson from being obsessed with our bodies, from being obsessed with beauty.
Yes, but also what does the child think? Like, why do they think they're putting on a face mask to begin with? Like, what are you
Exactly.
explaining? What are you saying to them of, like, why you're even doing this acti you know what
Well,
I mean? Like,
self-care, self-care, they just wanna take care of
but
themselves like their mom.
what are you
Right.
taking care of?
That
Like, how like, any part of this experience, it's like you would have to explain something about, like, beauty or skincare or,
right.
like, hydrate or, like,
Mhm.
they're not just thinking like, "Oh, yeah, put this cold piece of paper on your face just for funsies." And if
No.
so, just put a cold piece of paper on their face then
Right, exactly, just let them
if it's
splash their
that
faces
simple.
with cold water, or, like, run through a
Right,
sprinkler. There's plenty of
right,
sensory experiences that don't involve the cosmetic manipulation of a 3-year-old body.
right.
Um But yeah, that's exactly the problem, and so that was Shay Mitchell's reaction. The reaction that, like, did not surprise me at all and also just, like, floored me for its just in your face quality was an article that Glamour wrote about it, and the headline was literally, "It's not that deep." And they're like,
Oh, okay.
"This isn't that deep."
No
Like,
worries
Shay
then.
Mitchell's skincare line isn't that deep, stop arguing about it, and I just think that, like, this is an insult to beauty culture whether you're pro or anti,
That's so funny.
whether you love it or you hate it, like, to say it's not that deep is so insulting and frankly misogynist. I think it does a disservice to all people, but especially young women and especially young girls to wave away concerns
I
about
love
these
that.
products with, like, "The beauty industry doesn't mean anything. It's
Yeah,
not that
chill
deep.
out,
This is
losers.
nothing."
Calm down.
It's like, well, if it's nothing, why are we doing it? Like,
Right. Then we shouldn't
what?
buy it at all then, I guess, huh? Because it,
Like,
like, doesn't matter and nobody
exactly.
needs
Like,
it.
it's like, I know it's not that deep to you because you're not thinking deeply.
Well,
It's
because 'cause you're
not that deep
selling them.
to
You're
Shay
affiliate
Mitchell.
linking them and
Right.
making money off of them. Of course, it's not that deep to you. It's
Right.
sales to you.
It's not that deep to the people who are launching these products because they aren't thinking deeply either. Like, I don't think this is a deep conspiracy to, like, we're gonna damage kids' skin and self-esteem so we can sell them more stuff in the future. Like,
It's
it's
the
just
same as all the people in my comments telling me I'm overthinking fashion and fashion
right,
isn't that
right, right.
serious, it's not that deep, and I'm like, "That's interesting because it's, like, one of the largest, like, multi-trillion dollar industries in the world.
Like, if it wasn't
It's
that deep, it
if it
wouldn't
wasn't that deep, it wouldn't be that big, you know,
it's like people conceive it as
it's like,
being
stop
essential
overthinking
to their
weapons manufacturing.
I It's not that deep,
It's
Emily.
not that deep, we're just making guns, like, God, who cares? Stop talking about it."
Well, the argument for it's not that deep in this article and beyond stems from the fact that, like, throughout history, young girls have, like, mimicked the behavior of the adult women around them.
Mhm.
Like I said, like, plenty of us grew up playing in our mother's makeup or with, like, Noxzema cream or whatever, and, like, the argument is, like, it's not that deep because this is a normal part of girlhood. To which I say, okay, if we want to invoke girlhood, we have to define girlhood. And how is girlhood different from childhood? And, like, yes, it's a normal child behavior to, like, mimic the actions of adults.
Yeah.
And where girlhood differs is in the social conditioning. What actions are we imitating and why are we imitating those actions and what are we learning from those actions? Like, manipulating your own physical appearance to meet an impossible ideal is not inherent to girls. It's indoctrinated. And so when you say it's not that deep, it's like, no, it's extreme. Just because it's normalized doesn't mean it's not
Totally.
deep.
Also, like, look at all of history, and there's a lot of things that have been normalized that, like, weren't
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
And were that deep, actually, but they were the cultural norms, so we all just, like, took them at face value, and we're like, "Well, that's how things are." And it's also like, are these people in therapy? Like, if you're in therapy, you should know that, like,
I would
there's a lot
hope.
of things that we're taught by our parents that maybe
They
aren't
need to be if
that
they're
need to
not
be
well, that's the other
examined.
thing that I'm, like, thinking about too, and it's like, okay, it's normal because I did it as a
Right.
three-year-old 20 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever. Okay, and how did has that turned out for us? Look at beauty culture today. I would argue broadly, it's not good. It's not
Right.
promoting human flourishing. A lot of us are racked with insecurities and anxious about our appearance and depressed and have dysmorphia, disordered behaviors, obsessive compulsions to buy products and consume, consume, consume. Like, just because you did it,
Doesn't mean it's the right or the good thing to do. But
yeah,
we know that, like, we talk about so many other things
yeah.
from, like, our childhood, like, growing up in the early aughts and how toxic it
Mhm.
was and the way media talked about women and, like, so we can recognize that, right?
Mhm.
Or, like, we had a Me Too conversation, right? So we can
Right.
recognize that, like, behavior of the past isn't necessarily indicative of, like, good choices
Yeah,
or,
and
like, standards
I
we should
mean
live by forever.
I would even argue that the behavior of the past was potentially not as damaging as it is for, 3-year-olds being indoctrinated into beauty today because beauty culture has changed. It has gotten more and more
Yeah.
extreme. There are more and more products that we're expected to use, and technology has allowed us to manipulate our appearance in so many more extreme ways. And the end point for a lot of people is much more extreme than it was in years past.
Yeah, and on a very basic level, we're also consuming our appearance in, like, way more than ever in history, like, there
Completely.
are way more screens around us, there are way more mediators of our appearance, like, you are looking at yourself more than anyone in history ever looked at themselves. That alone
Mhm.
is, like, a
Right.
huge change.
Completely, like, it's a very different world that young people today are growing up to inherit, and in many ways, a worse world, and I think it's fine to be concerned about that. I think it is pretty deep
It's pretty
and
deep.
warrants our concern. I mean, and even if we're just looking at it at the most superficial level, like, there are plenty of physical complications that come from using skincare too early on developing skin, like your skin is part of your immune system. We have studies that show that like overusing skincare and soap at like infant and toddler ages can cause lifelong
Wow.
complications like eczema and asthma even. Like
Wow.
your skin is your immune system and what you're doing is you're constantly bombarding your immune system with products that it does not need in order to function and that can cause plenty of complications. And I mean, this is kind of true at any age. Like
Right.
the skin does not need as much as we're doing to it. But the other thing that really strikes me is like when we're saying it's not that deep, this isn't a problem, let girls be girls.
Mm.
I think particularly of young Black girls. And a few recent studies over the past couple of years have posited that Black girls are entering puberty younger. And one of the reasons that they're entering puberty at younger and younger ages may be beauty products, hair care products, and combined with higher environmental risk and increased sensitivity to endocrine disruptors for people in this population, like they're entering puberty younger. And
Wow.
when you enter puberty younger, you're at an increased risk for breast cancer and heart disease and PCOS. So there are like lifelong
Wow.
potential dangers of being exposed to certain cosmetic chemicals, depending on like your genetics and your
Right.
where you live and all of these factors, but like it contributes. Like so
Wow.
to say that this is
Sounds
just
very
like
deep.
I know, it's fucking deep. It's deep. And then like psychologically we know
Sure.
the harms of beauty standards and what's really fascinated me kind of about the public outcry against the sheet masks, against these Rinny sheet masks for young girls is like people are like it's not safe to internalize beauty standards at that young of an age, which is true. And I want us to continue that conversation because I'm like, what age do you think it is safe? At
Yeah.
what age
When
is it
does it become
totally
safe?
fine? Is it 10? Is it 15? Is it
Right.
25? Is it 40? Because long before these particular sheet masks have existed, we have been collecting data on the harms of beauty standards for people of all ages. And I would just love us to use this as like a jumping off point in the beauty industry to discuss some of those harms to young girls and old girls and old women.
Totally. And also, I was just thinking, I have the same thought when people tell me that I'm like overthinking fashion stuff, but like, okay, so if it isn't deep, then like, what's the harm of me overthinking it?
Exactly.
Why do you want me so badly not to overthink it and think
Right.
deeply about it if
Yeah.
it's really doesn't matter, if it's really harmless and ridiculous, and then let me,
Yeah.
you know,
Just let me say my
be
stupid little
academic.
comments
Yeah,
that
let
don't
me say
mean
my comments.
anything.
Yeah, let me dive in.
Yeah.
I got time.
I really find that to be one of the most insulting and silly things to say in reaction to anything fashion or beauty related. Because in, like, trying to preserve, like, "It's not that deep. This is just what women do." It's like, that's so misogynistic and writing off
Well,
women's interests as being frivolous or
yeah.
not worthy of deeper thought.
And also after all of the real risks that you just laid out for young Black girls, it's, like, also racist. Like, to say that
Yes.
it's
Oh,
it's not a
completely.
big deal and it's fine and everyone needs to
Mhm.
chill about it. It's like, okay, well, you are ignoring some very sounds like some very real scary data
Yeah.
of, like, the
Yeah.
impact that it does have on people that could be lifelong, health conditions.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's scary. But, yeah.
No worries. Sell some sheet
Shay,
masks
if
to
you're
three-year-olds.
listening, it is that deep.
Shay, just stick to those weird travel bags or whatever you make.
Yeah,
Just keep doing that. Like,
those are
you already
fine.
have a business. Like, you don't need to do this, actually.
Mm-mm.
Well, in completely frivolous and unrelated news, I want to talk about Addison Rae's Blindfold.
Oh my gosh, I saw this and, of course, thought of you immediately.
It's just really fantastic imagery, and I'm curious. I have some like vague musings on. I don't know. It's just it's really struck me as a powerful paparazzi image, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it as well. Basically, for those who haven't seen it, Addison Rae arrived at LAX wearing what TMZ is calling a blindfold. But and in early headlines, they were really making it seem like she was completely blind and, like, couldn't see where she was going, so they've since, like, moderated their headline because it's, like, very obviously a lace eye mask that she can
Oh, yeah.
fully see
See
through.
through.
Anyway, so this moment was captured by TMZ, which to me means that this was definitely a setup, like, it was prearranged between TMZ and Addison. That's usually how
Mhm.
TMZ, operates with that type of stuff, especially when it's a celebrity landing at an airport.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's orchestrated, which I think kinda makes the moment more interesting that's intentional because I don't know. Well, first of all, the look is very, Bird Box-esque,
So Bird Box, yeah.
and there's I just love a PR stunt. I always love a PR stunt. I love something done, like, purely for attention and the moment and the imagery, and Addison is very, very good at that, and there's it's this particular moment is also like a callback to her own iconography, because there's this anyone who's into Addison and has been watching for a minute, and there's this really amazing photograph of her from 2021 during the pandemic where she was like famously very, very bad at masking, as many of her TikTok peers were. And there's this really iconic photo of her walking around New York City holding like a plastic face shield. Like you would put
Oh
over
my
your face, like
gosh,
when someone
yes,
sprays hairspray and you have makeup
yes,
on or whatever. It's
mhm.
like that. And she's just holding it up like half in front of her face. But that was like her version of masking. Anyway, obviously, bad COVID pandemic practices. However, it
Ineffective,
became an iconic meme because it was so insane and so indicative of the moment and how
yeah,
celebrities were behaving in that moment with their
right,
flagrant ignore of all public safety measures.
yeah.
Anyway, so this for a lot of people, this blindfold called to mind that moment, and I actually found the ID on the blindfold because okay,
Tell me.
one of my great passions in life is, like, for any celebrity that exists, there is an Instagram account called That Celebrity's Name Closet. I don't know if people outside the industry know
I'm
this.
obsessed with those accounts, and I
I love
just
them.
wanna know who runs them. I mean, there must be profiles online of,
Bro,
like
no, there aren't.
no?
Dude, I once went to an Instagram event, and I literally pitched this to, like, all the girls who worked at Instagram because I'm like, "You have got to get
Yes.
on the" because there are so many, like, literally teenagers, like, literally 14-year-olds running these stan accounts, and I was like, "You need to get them
Holy
all the
smokes.
biggest accounts in the world, you need to get them together in a room and treat them like there's a celebrities and, like, do profiles on them, and, like, how they got into this, like, does it make them any money? How much time does it take? Like,
I'm feeling
are they
like
in
we need
contact with the
to
celeb?"
start a media company, a mess world adjacent media
Just to
company where
pursue
we
our
just
own
assign
interests.
out these stories
I know.
and every, like, silly little interest that we have,
Our
any
hair
weird
extension one last
idea.
time was
Oh
very,
my
very
gosh.
good. It's a
I'm still
very good
thinking about
idea.
that.
Me
I'm
too.
still thinking we should team up.
We
We
should
should
team up
sidebar
and
about
pitch it
this, but we
somewhere.
should team up next year for the Victoria's Secret fashion show and do that exactly. But, oh
Have a
my
big
gosh, I
rant
would
or something.
love some profiles of these celebrity closet accounts.
Because I'm obsessed with them because when I was doing especially when I was at People and when I was at Page Six, is like these mostly girls, made my job, like, so much easier because I didn't have to
Mhm.
hunt for everything, and they always
Yes.
had it, and they will have it within minutes of a new photo
Minutes.
coming
I
up.
know. I
They
would
have
use them for
correctly
research.
ID'd the
Yeah.
weirdest randomness stuff, and you're like, "How the hell
How
did you
did you do
find
that?
that?" Anyway, so, in writing up this little report, I found Addison Rae obviously has one, Addison Rae's Closet. I highly recommend everyone go follow they're very good at their job. They have, like, 12,000 followers, and they ID'd this blindfold as the Myrma Earth Fern headband. How the hell they
Murmur
found this?
Earth.
Myrma
I
Earth?
I love that.
I have no idea how they found this because it's the most generic black lace headband I've ever seen in my life. And
How
it's right.
much?
They're completely right. I forget. Let me
Not
look.
important, but,
Let me look.
inquiring minds.
$82. Pricey, pricey, pricey.
Yeah, for a tiny little piece of cloth,
A tiny little piece of lace and then 2 black
but
ribbons.
you can't put a price on those media impressions,
No, you can't. You really
worth
can't.
it. Worth it for
Um,
Addison.
anyway, there's something about this photo I was just really struck by the idea of a celebrity calling the paparazzi on themselves and then it and creating an outfit where you're like, you're denying the public your own gaze back at them. Does that make sense?
Mm,
Like
totally.
you are being consumed,
Yes.
but you refuse to consume, you're being perceived, but you
Yeah.
refuse perception? I don't know.
Uh-huh.
There's something about that, and it does tie into the Kim Kardashian, like, Giants anonymous sunglass thing as well.
There's something a little, Tilly Norwood or AI about it as well because are you familiar with Tilly Norwood?
I'm not
Oh,
familiar,
she's
no.
the AI actress.
Oh,
So,
okay.
not real, doesn't have the
Yes.
ability to perceive.
Yes.
And I think, it kind of says something about modern culture where a lot of our icons of beauty are not real. A lot of our models even are not
Mm.
real. They can't perceive themselves. Like, I'm thinking of the H&M digital twins where they just have
Yeah.
fake models modeled after
Right.
real models now.
Right.
Um, but yeah, there's something a little futuristic about perceiving a woman who doesn't have the ability to perceive you
Yes,
back or
but
something. I don't
also
know.
as though, like, her viewing you is so valuable or something, like, her, gaze landing upon you is, like, so precious that, like, it
Yeah.
can't be
You've
wasted or just
you've gotta pay for this at the meet and greet. You're not gonna get it
Right,
at the airport.
right, exactly, like, you don't get this for
Yeah.
free or something, like, this is I don't know, I'm just really struck by I don't really have any answers or, like, a hard concrete theory or something, I just feel like there's something
Yeah.
palpable there that's
A
very
little
interesting to
yeah,
me.
commodification of one's
A
own
little
gaze.
commodification of one's gaze, yeah.
It could be like, I don't know, maybe this is too far-fetched, but like a a continuation of the bathwater, commodification
Mm,
of one's own bathwater,
interesting.
commodification of your eye contact.
Yeah,
I don't know.
like, all of kind of our physical capabilities, like,
Mhm,
you have to reserve them for the real fans who will pay for
mhm.
them. I can't believe, now that the bathwater thing has gone mainstream, I can't believe no one else has picked up on Belle Delphine's, like, other big stunt, which was, bottling her farts.
I wrote about her bottling her farts
Yeah,
recently, and I gave you credit, because
I think she's fascinating.
Cat's Eye just did this sort of collab, where they made room sprays and they bottled their breath in the room sprays, and
Whoa,
I thought that
okay.
was very Belle Delphine
Now we're
bottling
talking.
her
That is
farts.
very
Yeah,
Belle Delphine bottling her farts.
bottling your
Wow.
emissions, yep.
Her influence, man, that's crazy. That's
I
so
know.
interesting. Once again, the adult entertainment industry, like, just steam had like, just at the forefront of
Mhm.
every celebrity movement. It's so crazy.
Like, honestly, as a callback to the beginning of our conversations, I do feel like we could see celebrity hair art or celebrity, like, hair memento celebrité jewelry or something soon.
Absolutely. Well, you know that Kim Kardashian owns a lock of Marilyn Monroe's hair.
Yes.
It was
I do
gifted
remember
to her
hearing
by
this.
Ripley's Believe It or Not after she wore the
Wow.
dress that they
What a
own.
gift.
Yeah, what a gift. What a Horcrux to add to her collection of dead lady Horcruxes. Really
Oh my
something
gosh.
there.
Yeah.
Something special.
No, I I remain fascinated by Addison, you know?
Yeah,
I'm a s
she's
I'm a
there's some
fan.
her team is really, you know whatever you think about her, I always think, like, if a celebrity is able to, like, accumulate a team around them like that, who is, like, so just
Yes.
exceptional at their jobs, like, you gotta
Right.
give them credit for that
She
because
at least has taste in her
she has
creatives.
taste.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Um, the next celebrity well, okay, I was trying to think of a nice, I was trying to think of a segue, but I can't.
It's
I
okay.
can't because I'm so distressed about the
Jump
subject
cut.
matter. Jump cut, Simone Biles. We're we're
There's
talking
no
about
segue between Addison Rae and Simone Biles.
I was trying to think of something about commodification, because that is relevant, but I couldn't get there. I couldn't get there. Champion Olympic genius Simone Biles has opened up about her plastic surgeries recently.
Mhm.
She has said that she's had a breast augmentation, a lower blepharoplasty,
Oh,
and an earlobe reconstruction.
I didn't realize. I knew about the breast augmentation, I did
Mhm.
not know about the other
She's
stuff.
been, like, slowly rolling them out on TikTok. I think the first time she talked about it, she was like, "I've had 3 plastic surgeries, and you'll never one of them you'll never guess." And that was
Oh.
the earlobe reconstruction. I'm sure, but now she's fully out and talking about all of the surgeries she's had,
Mhm.
a lot of it on TikTok, and then she did, like, a big interview with People Magazine recently, like, sort of disclosing all of these and
Can
making a
I
statement. Yes,
ask a stupid question? Is the
please.
earlobe one, is that for, like, when earrings, like, rip through your
Yeah.
earlobe? Okay.
Yeah,
Just
she said,
checking.
like, an earring ripped out when she was younger. My mom actually had that, reconstruction too, at the same time as she got her breast reconstruction done. The surgeon, like, threw it in there because she had ripped her ear open when she was a kid. Um, so yeah, my mom and Simone Biles, so much
I
in
just was
common.
curious if there's some, like, new ear surgery I wasn't familiar
Well,
with.
there
They're like,
is a new ear thing unrelated.
"Of course."
There have been a couple articles about Ozempic earlobes, which I don't think are a real thing, but surgeons are trying to say that,
They
like,
chunky?
losing weight from
Are they
Ozempic.
emaciated?
They're saggy. They're
Oh.
saggy. They're saggy
Mm.
and old looking because you lose weight in your
Couldn't you just, like,
earlobe.
put filler in them?
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing. I don't know. I
Make
haven't
them
read.
plump and taut lobes?
You've gotta plump those
Everyone's gonna notice.
lobes.
Everyone's gonna notice if they're
You've
saggy.
gotta plump your lobes, ladies. Um, but anyway, so Simone Biles.
this.
Simone Biles told People magazine that there is, quote, no shame in getting plastic surgery. And she said, young girls have the right to their own choices. She also said, I feel like nowadays with social media, you see everyone and you're like, oh my God, how does she look so good? Social media is not real. So that's why I try to be
Yeah.
as transparent as possible. And she said,
I love the double logic of that. It's like,
you
it's
know,
not real, but, like, I am gonna make my body look more like that to be under you know, like, don't believe it, but also I bought into it and I
I'm
do.
going to be emotionally real with you and tell you that I've done this.
Yeah.
And then she like ended it by saying she doesn't want women to feel pressured to fall in line with what other people are doing plastic surgery wise. And that's part of why she's being transparent, which obviously, like, right off the bat, we know that this is kind of like nonsense word salad. Like, you want
Mhm.
to have your cake and eat it too, where you are falling in line with beauty standards and then being like, but I don't want other girls to feel the pressure to do this, so
Do
this
as
is
I say,
why
not as
I'm
I
talking
do.
about
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I mean, it's very much related to the cut article we talked about last time of getting a neck lift at 41 and saying,
Mhm.
"I'm being transparent about it." And I know so
The
it keeps
real
coming
me.
up, but I feel like I have to keep talking about it because this line of thought is just so delusional. Um, no, it's just like this idea that the things that we want are disconnected from the collective and that
Mm,
our actions don't have those collective consequences of
right,
making
like, we
other
operate
people
in a
want
vacuum.
the things that we want is so delusional. I mean, I wrote about it in my last Ask Ugly column about, mimetic desire and how it's kind of unavoidable and like this is how human desire works. We want the things we want because other people want those things and model what we should want
Mm.
back to us. And it seems so dangerous to me that none of these articles that are coming out about cosmetic transparency are acknowledging that basic function of human desire. But something that I wanted to bring up here got cut from my last article, because I couldn't quite find the right way to say it.
Yeah,
But, like, so cosmetic transparency, like what Simone Biles is doing, obviously, like, destigmatizes cosmetic work. It also hands people, like, the blueprint to how to
yeah.
look like this. But I think what's really interesting is that it's and we've talked about this before, but it reframes meeting beauty standards through cosmetic surgery as somehow virtuous as long as you are honest about it. Like, I'm thinking
Right.
of people calling Kylie Jenner a girl's girl
Yeah.
after she revealed the details of her breast augmentation surgery.
Mm.
And I mean, we actually have a lot of data from surgeons over the past couple of years that show this cosmetic transparency movement is encouraging more and more people to get these surgeries. Like,
I
they
mean, I
know
always think
exactly what
about
to do.
the early days of plastic like, early days, whatever, but they would, like, bring in a picture of Angelina Jolie's nose and be like, "I want that," and now it's like,
Mhm.
"Okay, and what if Angelina Jolie told you the exact, like, medical, specs to how to get that nose?" Like, of course, that would just
Like,
encourage more
bring that
people
in,
to
yeah.
get her nose because now they really know how to get it.
Right, but so the reason that part got cut from my articles was because I had kind of a back and forth with my editor about the word virtuous. And whether that is true, like whether there is some sort of virtue signaling component to cosmetic transparency. And I think there are, like maybe virtuous is not the best word, but I do think that people who are being transparent about this are trying to force a sort of moral, ethical component here. Like Simone Biles saying she wants to help young girls realize why she looks so good so they don't feel bad about themselves. Like that is a sort of like virtue signaling, I think. I don't know, what's the
I think
word?
even if she's not the one who is placing it as virtuous, the
Right,
public is placing it as
right.
virtuous because
Completely.
celebrities who are transparent about the work they've had done are treated very, very differently from celebrities who obfuscate the work they've had
Mhm.
done.
Yes,
And
completely.
I
And I
think
think
that alone is a virtue signaling, you know?
right. And I mean, that has a lot to do with how I mean, we know that people judge those who have had overt cosmetic work, whether that's plastic surgery or, like, very clearly going tanning or wearing heavy makeup, they're judged as morally inferior.
Right.
And so I think this move towards cosmetic transparency is, like, maybe an unconscious way to try to mitigate that judgment by saying, "Okay, here I'm going to illustrate my morals and my ethics and my personal moral code to you in another way. Like, I value honesty."
Yes. Well, I also think
Too.
celebrities are always trying to gesture towards authenticity while
Mhm.
having nothing authentic happening. Does that make sense? Like,
Yes.
celebrities are always, like, giving you a behind the scenes look. They're always posting a no makeup selfie, or like, "Oh, here's me at the gym." Like, they're always
Mhm.
creating this illusion of, like, raw, unfiltered looks into their life that make their fans because it makes their fans feel closer to them, and it makes the parasocial bond stronger. And
Yeah.
so I think that this is just like one, celebrities kind of like reading the room. Like people
Mhm.
demand this type of like information from them now. Like they don't
Right.
respect people who lie, quote unquote, lie to them, even though the whole thing is a production and a lie. Or like, or yeah, just put things in their face and tell them it's the opposite, even though like this is a version of doing that, but it just reads as
Yeah.
honest, authentic, true, moral, virtuous, whatever.
Completely. I also think there's something that I haven't quite worked out yet that's, like, confuses the narrative we have around beauty standards and plastic surgery, that I, like, can't quite put my finger on, but, like, I think a lot of times defense of conforming to certain beauty standards through surgery or through products or whatever, um, really relies on this idea that women are judged in the world by what they look like, and therefore, if you don't look a certain way, you have fewer opportunities for
Mhm,
jobs, for success, for, like, financial success, for, like, social networking, for relationships, and I think it's kind of interesting that, like, Simone Biles and a lot of the celebrities who are seeing this cosmetic transparency from have all of that already, and, like, what does
mhm.
that mean for this part of the narrative? Like, she's successful, she's rich, she's an Olympic champion, she's happily married, her husband, like, helped her get through all of these surgeries. So, like, what are we now saying that this is for?
And also, I mean, this is just like a practical question, but the do the new boobs not fuck with her sport? Like, wouldn't that kind of be like a wild like, it just puts the weight in different places, like, your balance is different, like, I imagine the jumping and the turning is
That's
different
a
to
question.
accommodate, and is that not a concern? Is she not I don't
Yeah.
know about if she's, like, continuing to pursue,
Maybe she's
like, a
retired.
maybe she's retired, I'm not sure.
I
I
don't know
just
that.
wonder,
And yeah.
is that not a concern as a professional athlete that you might
Right.
somehow be hindering or worsening even
Right.
your performance because of this augmentation? I don't
Right,
know.
and again, my argument is not like, she shouldn't be doing all of this
Yeah.
or she shouldn't be honest about it. I'm just really interested in how we talk about it and how we mystify it.
Mhm.
The other thing that I was, like, a little disturbed by in this story is that Simone Biles really emphasized that her blepharoplasty, she got a lower bleph because of her genetics, to fix a genetic trait. She calls her under eye bags genetic, she calls them, like, the Biles bags or something like that, and I don't know, I mean, it's a little, like, eugenicsy? Yeah, to be like, "I have to fix my genetic inheritance with surgery." And again, if you're explicitly saying there's, quote, "no shame in getting plastic surgery," when do we address that there should be no shame in having a genetic feature
Mhm.
such as the one that she had? And if,
Especially a
like,
harmless one.
right, and if young girls have the right to their own choices, like, when do we talk about, like, young girls should also have the right to feel fine and normal in their bodies as is, and how do,
True.
like, these actions complicate these narratives? Like,
Yeah. It reminds me of it was a joke I made a joke in the last podcast, but it does remind me of, like, if we have wrinkles week, like, where is the representation of people who want to cultivate maximum wrinkles? Like,
exactly.
if the premise is wrinkles
Yeah.
week, like, don't we need both the people who want to exterminate wrinkles and the people who are enjoying them and want to see more
Yeah.
come in? I don't know.
Yes, totally.
Like, if that was true, like, wouldn't there be representation from all sides, I guess?
Right, exactly. Yes, if this was just like a do what you want and nothing
Yeah.
is
And
informing
everyone can make their
my
own
what
choice.
I want, people would be also getting surgery to make their under eye bags puffier.
Yeah,
If there was no social conditioning about what is
totally.
good and what is bad, if this
Add a
was
flap of
pure.
skin to my eyes, you know?
Yes,
Make
maybe
'em
that'll
wrinkly
be the
like a
next, like,
bulldog.
add an arm to your dress is add a bag to your under eye.
That's exciting. It is
I don't
interesting.
know.
You also just reminded me this is related, but also unrelated, but I was wondering if you saw because I saw this clip and I was being like, "Oh my god, this is, like, the richest text for Jessica that I've ever seen in my life." But Kathy Griffin went on, like, Sherry Shepherd's morning show. Did you see this?
No, I didn't see this.
Holy shit, dude. You're about to write a
Okay.
magnum opus about this.
I
She
can't
walked
wait.
out in a bikini
Uh-huh.
and high heels. That's
Uh-huh.
it. To show off her
Uh-huh.
body, to show off
Uh-huh.
her what is she, 60 something body,
Yeah.
and to show off her new facelift because she just got her 3rd facelift, and so the whole segment was about how good she looks in a bikini and how good her new facelift and how expensive it was and et cetera, et cetera. They go on the entire literally the entire interview is that and I was just like, "What a weird" first of all, it feels like a weird '90s throwback to just have a woman walking out in a
Yeah.
bikini to, like, promote her appearance, like, to
Right.
promote her
Yeah, what
thinness at her age.
project
I
I'm
don't
promoting is the project
'cause
of
literally
my own body.
'cause she's not promoting anything. She literally
Yeah.
she doesn't have a new project coming out, she doesn't have a stand-up special, and there is nothing she's promoting except her
Yeah.
literal appearance
Yeah.
post-op. It's really incredible, you have to go
Very
watch it.
interesting. I'm sure that's motivated by all of the positive press that
Yeah.
celebrities have been getting for being, like, transparent about their procedures as of late, and she's like, "Oh, great,
No, that was just a
great
celebration of
opportunity."
her doing something for herself that has nothing to do with beauty standards at all. How dare you?
I would love actually for this exact same scenario to take place and then have, like, a frank and honest, emotionally transparent conversation on the whatever show about what's really motivating you, and how do you feel about your body, and how do you feel about aging, and when did this start, and
What are
when
the
did you
darkest thoughts
internalize
you
this,
have in the
you
early hours
know?
of the morning?
Yeah, I would love that because, again, it's not like, "Don't do this," it's like, "Let's just be honest about what's motivating us,
Sure.
please.
Yeah, and
Please."
I would especially respect that from someone whose whole job is their appearance to be like, "I'm put under a lot of pressure to look a certain
Yeah,
way, to not age." Like, why can't we be frank about that? Like, everybody knows it.
right, right,
I got a
exactly.
nose job because everyone in the internet was making fun of my nose.
Mhm,
Like, that's a real answer, okay.
yeah, I would love that.
It was preying on my insecurities, and I didn't wanna deal with it anymore, so I took the easy
Right,
route out, and I got a surgery to change it, and now
love it.
now everyone will talk for the rest of my life about my surgery instead of
Mhm,
my
anything I
problematic
was doing,
nose.
yeah.
Yeah, or anything else I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't know, I feel like everything that I've brought up today has been just so vague and blah, and, like, I don't even know if I'm making a point, but I'm just like, yeah, I think I'm in the muck of,
That's why we have a podcast, so you
"What
never
does
have to
this
make a point.
mean? How do we talk about this? How should we talk about this?" I don't
I
know,
always
yeah,
I
I don't
always
know.
see the podcast as, like, a ground for us to hash out things that we have vague notions about, and
Mhm.
so we can start to hone in on what the hell we're
Yeah,
saying and thinking and talking about. That's how I think about this
mhm.
podcast. I never come here with an answer, I'll tell you that.
Speaking of hone in, I was thinking about how you had that, like, Instagram troll that was like, "It's Homan, it's Homan,"
Yeah. Oh,
when you
yeah.
said hone in, and then I was listening to the New Yorker podcast Critics at Large today, and they used the words hone in an
Uh-oh.
advertising part of their thing, and I was like, this is just how we speak, it's fine." I was
Well,
thinking of
yes,
your troll.
and from my Google after I was chastised, both are technically correct because
Yeah.
colloquially, people say "hone," and so language is malleable and adaptable with the times, which is something that we should all know. And so,
Mhm.
because everyone
Yes.
says "hone," "hone" has become as acceptable as "home."
Maybe that brings me to my point, which is that language is malleable and adaptable, and I think we're adapting it in some pretty
For sure.
dangerous ways right now, and we should adapt it
Totally.
in a different way to be a little bit more straightforward and honest about what we're doing. There we
I think
go.
that's a good point, and there you go, we found it.
Yeah.
Let's do a quick, chat about Doppelganger,
Yeah.
because obviously this is gonna be, like, a big part of the book club conversation, and I don't
Yeah.
wanna no spoilers, no spoilers. But I don't know, we just finished reading, part 3 of the book, and it I don't just the way she was talking about colonialism and how colonialism, like, while we may not expand and take over countries anymore, we still all live by this colonialist mindset and, like, the
Mhm.
invisible well, invisible to us, but not invisible to other people the people being colonized mindset,
Right.
and I don't know, it just really hit home for me. I think it's very profound, and I start thinking about the obvious correlation in fashion is fast fashion, and there's
Mhm.
this idea that, like, Naomi Klein calls it, like, the shadowlands, like, in order for, like, our culture to be one way, like, parts of the world have to live in these shadowlands, like, doing the horrific, thing that makes our thing possible.
Mhm.
And, like, we've decided in a colonialist mindset that, like, that's okay with us. Like, that is the cost of living the life we want, and, like, somehow we are superior and we deserve this life while they
Right.
deserve what they're getting. And I was just thinking about the chain of fast fashion and this
Yeah.
mentality of, like, Shein mentality where it's like, "I deserve to pay $1 for a T-shirt." And so
Mhm.
when you say, "I deserve to pay $1 for a T-shirt," you're saying that, like, all the people who make that T like, the whole manufacturing process, like, those people don't deserve anything.
Yes.
And, like and just to be comfortable with that mentality, it's just really wild to me. And true, like, a true thing that I think you can kinda see how it spirals out from that
Right.
extreme example.
Well, it makes me think of, like, beauty culture and, like, say, palm oil, which is in a huge percentage of beauty products when we're saying, like, "I deserve my self-care moment with this sheet mask that uses
So
components of palm oil." We are saying, "I'm okay with the fact that my self-care is contingent on all of the human rights abuses that
yes,
are inherent in the palm oil industry," for example. And it's like, okay,
absolutely.
obviously, we're not gonna change that on an individual level, but it's good to be explicit about what's happening.
Right, right. I don't think that this framing or whatever is gonna change how we consume or like but I don't know, just, like, that is the honest way of thinking about
Mhm.
this behavior and what you're engaging in, and I don't know how you can continue in good faith to engage with it and not think about how many people have to be truly not over exaggerating, like, how many people have to die in order
Right.
for your life to be easy, for you to get next day delivery, for you to wear a shirt that costs nothing, that costs a penny. I don't know, my friend Diane also sent me this, Instagram reel recently from a business of fashion talk that I need to go watch the full conversation, but it was talking about, the city in Africa where we're dumping all of our clothing waste and just the
Mhm.
tons and tons of clothing waste, and that the people responsible for, like, moving this clothing waste around are all women and children. And they do it by carrying, like, hundreds of pounds of clothing on their heads, and that this if not, like, snaps their neck and kills them, it, like, is horribly deforming and, like, crushes their spinal column, can make them infertile,
Oh my
and I don't know,
gosh.
it's really, really horrific, really, really terrible, but yeah, it's just like, okay, so that is the real human cost
Mhm.
of your clothing consumption and production, and, like, we are all tacitly saying, like, "We're okay because those people are less than us."
Mhm.
Like, that is colonizer mentality, like, somebody has to take the brunt of the horrible things in this world. It's okay to me that these people in Africa are taking that on so that I can live my life the way I wanna live. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a new book about the beauty industry that just came out this month by Arabelle Sicardi,
Mhm.
who's fantastic.
Yeah.
The book is called The House of Beauty, and the first chunk of the book is sort of like a choose your own adventure type section where these, like, little one-page or two-page write-ups on a facet of the beauty industry, and then you choose, like, where you wanna jump ahead to,
Mhm.
and, the adventure might be you're coming from the point of view of a child who is, mining mica, I you know, being forced into some sort of child labor to make a sparkly eyeshadow or something, or,
Right.
you're on, like, a cargo ship that's transporting ingredients, and I think, yeah, that book and that section in particular has a lot to say about this, like, shadowland aspect of the beauty industry.
And I should also mention, like, in Naomi Klein's analysis of this, it's like her argument is that, like, this shadowland always exists,
Mhm.
I guess, and it's not like a fluke or a freak abnormality, like, they are very much this is what she's talking about doppelganger, like, they are the doppelganger to white supremacist cult like, the people who are benefiting from that, right? And it's like,
Mhm.
this is always existent, and she's comparing it to, like, COVID, for example, where it's like,
Right.
suddenly we see these people who are on the front lines, slaughtering chickens in a meat factory or working at a hospital and, like, having to wear, plastic trash bags, instead of PPE. And it's just kind of like laying bare how the world
Yeah.
works largely, but, like, because it's now, I don't know, brought into a different relationship with I don't know, we have to, like, confront it differently, and we treat it as, like, this freak
Like,
thing, like, this is
anomaly,
brought
yeah.
on because of the pandemic, like, "Oh, it's
Right.
so crazy," but, like, no, that's actually always how this operates, you're just being confronted with the reality of it
Mhm.
in this
Yeah, for the first time,
abnormal situation, yeah.
completely. Yeah, I need to read that piece. We'll have to put it in the show notes, the one that you were just talking about.
Mm.
It sounds, I mean, horrific and
Yeah,
necessary
it's a
to
video,
read.
yeah, it's like a TED Talk.
Oh, okay.
It is, extremely horrific, and there are images that supplement it that are horrifying.
Well,
Yeah, I'll link
I'll
out to it.
okay, great. On that note, wow. On that note, should we talk about the Costume Institute's Spring
Yeah,
2026 exhibition?
I love that we're having a double, like, extremely bleak and
Ah,
apocalyptic conversation and, like, the dumbest also, most frivolous
uh-huh.
conversations back then. There's the
You
doppelganger, and
know,
there's the Shadowlands.
that's our shadow.
Let's talk about the Met Gala.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Costume Institute's Spring 2026 exhibition, which was announced this week. It's costume art.
Yeah. Costume art, which was like when I read about it, it's being described as a series of thematic body types.
Mhm,
So I guess it's like clothes on the body, but
mhm.
the body types are the naked body, the classical body, and then those that have been traditionally overlooked, such as the pregnant body and the aging body,
Yeah,
and also the anatomical body and the mortal body. Um,
interesting.
which the mortal body killed me because I'm
I
like,
know.
it's so funny that this is a separate category of body.
Well, I wonder too. Yeah, I they never invite me to the preview, so I didn't get to I didn't get to preview the exhibit, unfortunately. But I wonder also if they by mortal body, it's also kind of grappling with because I saw there's a lot of comme des garçons. There's a lot of stuff that's like
Okay.
the bulging off the body, like weird lumps and
Mhm.
bumps collection, and I
Mhm.
wonder if that too is maybe part of the mortal body,
Yeah.
section, kind of like when we transcend, like,
Yeah.
the limits of the form maybe? I have
Right.
no idea, I'm purely guessing. Also, a side note, I think we should just, in case people don't know this, but the theme of the exhibit is always different than the theme of the red carpet for the Met Gala.
Right.
So, the theme for the exhibit is costume art, but we don't have the announcement yet for the theme for the red carpet. So, for example, last year, the exhibit was super fine tailoring Black style, but then the red carpet theme was tailored for you. And I just love they do this every year, and I think it's so funny. I love it. They make it, like, super vague and
Mhm.
just, like, catch all, like, "Please just wear a costume like, please just wear an
Right.
outfit that's, like, vaguely related to anything at all, we're begging you." And you, like, can't make it too hard for celebrities. And so this year, I do feel like the theme is just gonna be like, "Wear a costume. Wear it's a fancy dress party, like, wear something a little kooky
Mhm.
that's not like you." And they're gonna be like, "Okay." They're gonna, like, put on a masquerade mask or something.
Interesting. I
It's my
know.
favorite.
I wonder, I mean, because I was looking at the website as they're, like, announcing this, and what is the piece of art that they're using? Oh, so the main image to promote this is this terracotta statuette
Oh,
of the goddess Nike,
yeah.
and so it's a lot of this kind of, like, old Greek statue. Yeah, so I wonder if the theme might be, um, related to that in some way too, like goddesses or the idealized body. I mean, it made me think of how much the statue of the David has been functioning, in men's marketing specifically, like, there's
Yeah.
that protein bar called David. There's a
I
lot
was
of,
just
like
gonna say, is that where the name for that protein bar
yeah,
comes from?
yeah.
And have I said on the podcast before that that protein bar is god awful? It is one of the worst
I
protein bars I've ever had in my life.
I
It
think I
is
read
like
this in your Mess Recommends
it's
or
like having
something.
a power bar in the '90s, like, that is bleak. That is darkness. I just don't the technology has really advanced since then. I don't know what they're up to or why anyone's talking about them. I do think I've said this on the podcast before.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's like a real taste of, like, women's marketing where it's, here's the idealized body that doesn't actually exist in our marketing, and then we're going to force feed you some of the most disgusting food you've ever eaten in pursuit of this body.
Also funny because like, the statue of David is, like, as tall as a building. You know what I mean? Like, beyond, like, the anatomical, like, it not being a real body, it's like, it literally the proportion like, it's just not it's a fantastical body.
Yes,
And so it's funny
exactly.
in the truest sense. It's just very funny that that is, like, the male ideal.
Right. I mean, it's also the fantastical body is also the female ideal. Like, I feel like this,
Yeah. Yeah. True.
exhibit is very now. even looking back at these, like, old statues of bodies because they weren't modeled after real people or real body. These were, like, idealized visions of what the gods in all of their divine glory might look like, which has
Mm,
become the ideal for humans. Um, so it's kind of like the body as an art project of
yes.
idealization, like mixing and matching these different ideal body parts onto your
Mm,
body through surgery.
interesting, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
definitely bodies on bodies trend as well,
So
like
bodies on bodies.
body as costume, body as trend.
Mhm.
And I am curious how celebrities are gonna interpret this and if they are gonna show us kind of any of these overlooked bodies, as the exhibit
The quote
calls
unquote
them.
overlooked bodies, yeah.
I mean, someone has to do a pregnancy reveal, right?
Yes, they must.
Has to. That's the law. But, like, are we gonna see an aging body? Is Cardi finally gonna put those aging prosthetics back on and give us what we've all been asking for since
I
the
would
Garden
love
of
that.
Time
I
exhibit?
would love that.
I'm in a demographic where bodies are, like, so I don't know, so cookie cutter.
Right.
I'm interested to see if anyone's gonna play
Right.
with
I was
that
just gonna
that
say, I feel
notion.
like the Hollywood, version of the aging body, which has been trending for some time, is just like, look at how young this actually
Mhm,
aging body looks. It's like
mhm.
Jennifer Lopez, can you believe she's
She's
50? She looks
50,
like
oh
she's
my god.
25 or something. So, yeah, it would be
She only works
interesting to
out 4
see
hours a day, can you believe? She
see a
sleeps
a
for 11.
different version of an aging body that appears to be an aging body.
Yeah, I was also struck by, the mortal body section because it reminded me I had this conversation and I can't remember who I had this conversation with, but we were talking about the bodies on bodies trend, and specifically, Jay Hart, the musician who showed up at the VMAs with 4 arms,
Yeah.
and someone was telling me that it reminds them of, like, Indian gods and goddesses who have multiple
Yeah,
arms, and
okay.
I was like, "Wow, that's
Mhm.
so interesting," and I do wonder, like, the trend to me already seems to be, like, something about AI as well, something about, like, moving beyond, like, the traditional restraints of, like, the physical form and, like, what our bodies can allow us to do to, like,
Mhm.
move into the realm of the hyperreal,
Right.
like a fully
Yes.
fictional body that can't actually exist, and I was like, "What?" And it makes sense to me that it is also, in that vein, like, a gesture towards divinity,
Mhm.
like the body
Yeah.
a man-made body beyond what God, quote, unquote, "created."
Right. Or
Oh,
our new god, technology, AI, if we're
yeah,
thinking of gods as what we worship and
totally.
worship as what we sacrifice our time and our brain space to, I think you could say AI is a sort of god
Yeah,
figure, an
totally.
all, uh, intelligent being or something.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm thinking of the extra fingers and extra arms and legs as,
Yeah,
like, ChatGPT prompts kind of gone wrong, but
yeah,
this
totally.
is the body in the image of the AI god, you know?
Mhm, mhm. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I think there's something there.
And then, of course, we have to we have to say that the exhibit is being made possible by Jeff Bezos and his
S
wife, Lauren Sanchez
Of
Bezos.
course it is, of course, because they're obsessed with becoming popular.
Yeah.
Rich
Oh, yeah.
people, they are obsessed with being popular and invited to cool things and interacting with cool people, which is why you'll notice they had a bunch of celebrities they've never met before in their entire lives at their wedding. 'Cause they want
Mhm.
attention and they wanna feel like they're in the cool crowd, and Kim Kardashian does a lot of that for them, I'll tell you that. And now
Oh,
Anna
yeah.
Wintour does a lot of that for them, because I don't know what they're paying her. I don't know what deals they're working out on the back end, but
Something's happening.
something's happening. I mean, I already knew something was happening when they did the whole, like, Jeff and Lauren editorial in the
Oh,
magazine that
yeah.
was Blue Origin ad, super weird.
Yeah. And then the digital cover.
And then the digital cover for their wedding, and then I don't know, you know, the Bezoses were everywhere during Paris Fashion Week, in the front row at every big haute couture show,
Mhm.
and, I'm just like, I know that we're an industry that's obsessed with money, run by money, but it's like, what happened to being elitist? Fashion used to be a lot meaner, we used to be a lot more judgmental, and we wouldn't let losers like that buy their way into the front row ever, and I'd just like a little bit of the cattiness, a little bit of the bitchiness to come back for 2 people
That's so
specifically.
funny.
But it's like it
Yeah.
speaks to I don't know, that you can really buy your way into anything because, like, clearly they bought their way into these front rows because even I
Mhm.
was thinking, like, Are the Bezoses even, like, VICs, very important customers, for those who don't know? For because brands, if you are a very important customer, you will sit
Yep.
at the front row of the show that you're a very important customer at because they want you to look at the clothes, they want you to write down what you want and buy them.
Right.
That's traditionally what fashion shows were for.
Mhm.
They were for buyers, both individual buyers and store buyers, and now
Right.
they're just, like, media spectacles. But I was
Right.
like, "Are the Bezoses even VICs?" Because I don't think they are.
I wouldn't say so. I don't know. I'm thinking, can we just blame this all on Kanye? Like, Kanye bringing Kim into the fold,
For
Kim
sure, and
bringing the
it's opened the
Bezos clan into the
floodgates, yeah.
fold. Yeah.
Can't keep anybody out
Yeah,
now.
I think this is all Kanye's fault.
I'm fine with that. I'm
Yeah.
fine with blaming the Nazi for
Yeah.
everything that's going
Mhm.
on that's bad currently, that works
As we
for me.
should.
I always think with VICs, this is a very abstract reference, but people should know this is one of my favorite articles ever written, is there's this author, Buzz Bessinger, he wrote Friday Night Lights, and
Oh,
he
yes. You've
one of
talked about
my
this man before.
I've talked about him before. One of my favorite essays of all time he wrote for GQ in, like, 2011 or 2012. At the time, they've since changed the title. At the time, it was called Confessions of a Straight Male Shopaholic, and it was
Mhm.
about he has a fetish for leather, specifically Gucci leather, and so he was bankrupting himself buying Gucci leather, but because he was doing that, he was a VIC, and so every season they would fly him out to Milan and set him front row. And so anyway, when I think about
Incredible.
VICs, I always think about Buzz Bissinger, and his sexual addiction to leather.
I need to reread that
It's one
piece.
of the greatest essays on fashion I think ever written, but
Yeah.
it's a personal obsession of mine.
I also wonder, I think the beauty industry is going to have a great time with this,
Mm.
particular Costume Institute theme, and depending on what the theme of the Met Gala is, um, I think the beauty industry is really going to thrive in this one because, I mean, since the beginning of time, but recently I have been seeing a lot more marketing that leans into this idea of the body as art and
Mm.
face as art or as a canvas for art. Um, and I think that's gonna be, like, a really natural tie-in for beauty with this particular theme.
Well, also, what is Kim's painted on clothing if not body as art?
Completely, completely.
As blank canvas to receive.
Mhm. Yes, and it's often, like, when we're using art in beauty marketing, it's often used to frame beauty as something, just, like, super valuable and, like, essential to, like, human life and fulfillment and flourishing, um, something expressive and artistic.
Yeah.
And that I think what gets lost in that messaging is the fact that, like, art is an object, and so body as art, face as art is inherently objectifying, like, the beauty industry loves to frame, like, pun intended, women as the particular object of the artwork, like a canvas for expression or, like, clay to be sculpted,
Well, and in this case, we're talking about celebrity bodies, which are quite
yeah.
literally
Oh, yeah.
commodities used to sell whatever, everything.
Completely. Yeah. So I think there's gonna be a lot of that from the beauty industry in the lead up to this year's Met Gala.
Mm. Oh, yeah, I would also just like to, add my, personal conspiracy theory that I did say on our friend Alyssa's podcast earlier this month, but it just got me thinking with, like, the Bezoses, like, deep entrenchment with all these fashion brands, like, we're 1000%, maybe even as soon as next year, gonna get a runway show in space. I just
I
know it. I know it in my bones. I can
I
feel it.
completely agree. Yes, and that was actually close to one of my predictions for this year, my beauty predictions. I thought we were going to see, Blue Origin backed or SpaceX backed skincare the same way we have, like, NASA
Really.
backed skincare
Or like a
products.
Blue Origin spa in space,
Exactly, exactly. Like, this is going to happen
for
for
sure.
sure.
And Vogue is going to get the exclusive on it.
Of course. Of course. Should we move on to the mess of the month?
Let's talk mess of the month.
What's your
My
mess?
mine's quite simple, quite
Love it.
straightforward, and it's
Okay.
Jennifer Aniston's 30-year-old toe ring.
There's something about that that's so beautiful to
I
me.
think it's so there's something so beautiful about it to me. So, to clarify, no one is confirmed No one's confirmed that she's been wearing this toe ring for 30 years. I'm extrapolating to 30. Page 6 says at least since 2001, but I'm gonna say since Friend Days seems like a
Mhm.
safe guess. So I'm gonna say
Mhm.
it's 30 years. And also, Page 6 is doing this entirely based off photo research. So they just looked through all of the Getty images that, like, exist of her looking for toe rings, and the earliest example they found was in 2001.
Wow.
So no one's asked
That's
her about
intense.
this. No, there's no quote from Jennifer Aniston. She did not confirm this. She is not participating in this story. Page Six did photo research and is saying she's been wearing the same toe ring. It's a gold. It's gold. It's a thin
I feel
band.
like it would've been much more efficient for a reporter to just reach out for comment.
A thousand
I mean, maybe
percent.
they did, I don't
And
know.
there's no way Jennifer Aniston is responding to Page Six for comment on her goddamn toe ring. I'll tell you that. She's got bigger fish to fry. She does not care.
Mm.
But it's the same toe, same appearance ring, so they're speculating,
Okay.
and I think
Mhm.
that's a solid speculation. The first Getty image sighting seems to be from the premiere of The Good Girl in 2001,
Oh,
that's what they're
wow.
referencing.
Throwback.
And then, I most notably, I suppose, the toe ring's claim to fames is she wore it to the Emmys in 2002, and she wore it on the cover of InStyle in 2018. And I love it because it's such normal, regular ass behavior to, like, buy a
Yeah.
piece of jewelry you love and wear it for 30 years. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, in
That's not
celebrity
your
world,
brave.
that's insane. Like, nobody does that. No one
This is
even wears
press-worthy.
it
Yeah.
genuinely is. No one even wears the same pair of jeans twice in their entire life, let alone
Yeah.
one, very regular, boring toe ring for 30 years. And it's just funny, sad to me that this is like
Yeah.
a big story that a celebrity bought something she loves and has worn it multiple times, but
Alert the presses.
yeah. I don't know, and there are moments like that sometimes in fashion press where, like, the normal I mean, you know this in beauty too, but sometimes the
Yeah.
regular breaks through.
Right. Well, it's very, like, Pamela Anderson not wearing makeup, like,
Yes,
most women in the world are not wearing makeup every day,
right.
but because it's a
It's exactly
celebrity, it's like,
that.
"Oh my god,
It's exactly that.
what's happening?"
And I love that she loves her toe ring, I think that's beautiful, and it is so, like, 90s famous person of her to also
Mhm.
love a toe ring.
You know who has some gorgeous toe rings right now? Chan Lu. I was on the Chan Lu website the other day because they
Not
started an
sponsored?
early black not sponsored, I just love Chan Lu. Um, I have some gorgeous scarves from them from back in
Okay.
the day when I was, like, doing styling, and they threw some
Mhm.
extra scarves into the bag, and I was like, "Alright, I'm gonna take this." But some beautiful toe rings on the site, and I had 2 of them in my cart, and I was like, "Maybe I should buy these toe rings," and I ultimately took them out, but I'm
A
intrigued.
young Jen Aniston in
I'm
our midst.
intrigued.
I think you need to get into it. I don't know about Chandler, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah,
Get
some
myself a toe
gorgeous,
ring.
gorgeous stuff. Oh my gosh, we should get matching mess toe rings for the holidays or something.
I'm open to it, and there is something sensory about having a ring on my toe that I don't know if I can accommodate
Mm.
it,
A
but
and these rings
I'll
are
try.
huge. Yeah,
I
these
mean,
are like cocktail rings for the toe.
I'm interested. I just don't know if I can handle it ultimately, but maybe I'll learn to love it,
We'll
grow to
give it a
love it.
go. Okay, my mess of the month is Sephora's holiday campaign,
What's
but not for the reason that you think. Well, I don't know, did you see any of the controversy around their holiday
No.
campaign a couple weeks ago? It's weird.
I saw literally just the controversy of people being mad at it, but I did never saw the original controversy itself, and then
Okay,
I forgot and never bothered to look into why.
okay, so the controversy so far is that their holiday commercial is Mariah Carey doing her annual, like, "It's time" reveal, and then it
In
plays,
Christmas.
yeah, All I Want for Christmas Is You. Um, and they turned that into a commercial for Sephora, and people got really angry about it. There were a lot of think pieces about it because they were like, "Well, it's turning this anti-capitalist Christmas anthem of, like, I don't want stuff, I just want you,' into a consumerist, thing," and I'm like,
It's what? It's a
that's
Christmas carol that's used in, like, every commercial, like, Mariah herself uses it as a
I know,
self-promotional vehicle, it makes her a shitload of money.
and she's licensed it to plenty of other companies
A
in the past. There's,
million
like
companies. It is
yeah.
in every holiday campaign.
So,
What?
yeah, that does not really hold up to me. People
Also,
also did
Mariah Carey anti-capitalist? Like, are we joking? The woman wears a
no,
tiara,
babe.
like, casually on the weekend to the grocery store, like, who are
She's
we
not a
talking about?
capitalist, she's a monarchist.
That's right, she's a
Yeah.
my I am so sorry, she literally is, like, a monarchist.
They also don't like some of the scandal has been, like, the premise of the commercial is, like, Christmas is canceled. Billy Eichner plays an elf, and he's like, "Christmas is canceled this year." And Mariah's like, "You can't cancel Christmas." And people are mad because they're saying, like, this is making fun of people who can't get Christmas gifts this year because they're poor, or, like, people can't afford food. Christmas might have to be canceled. And, like, yes, of course, but I just don't see how this is different than literally any other holiday
Has anyone
commercial.
ever seen The Grinch?
I know,
Whole
yeah,
Christmas or
yeah. I
is
don't
that
know. It's like
I don't
it's a
know.
real
It
reach
is
to
kind of
me.
just a trope of, like, Christmas I get what they're I
Yeah.
mean, I think people are particularly sensitive because this is a year where a lot of people can't afford presents or a
Yeah.
Christmas as they would normally have one because
Mhm.
of, you know, everything being
Because
fucked.
yes. Yes.
So I
Completely,
understand how
which
you
I
could
think is
interpret
a
that differently.
legitimate
Of course, it's
grievance
legitimate,
in
but
your
it's like,
lives,
I
of
think you're
course.
taking a regular
Yeah.
capitalist Christmas trope and projecting
Yeah.
your own financial
Mhm.
situation onto it, which is legitimate. I mean, but
Yeah.
also they've always been making commercials like this where Christmas is canceled or whatever,
Yeah. Exactly.
and then Mariah has to save Christmas, I presume?
Yeah, Mariah saves Christmas, and she gets into Santa's sleigh and flies around the Statue of Liberty, which to me
Oh,
is what is
okay.
the most fascinating and strange part of this whole thing. It really gave me, like, post 9/11 flashbacks to where it was
Yeah,
like, the best thing you can do for your country is to shop.
patriotic. Yeah.
But that ending shot of Mariah flying around the Statue of Liberty was
What
not part of the scandal.
I'm curious what Sephora thinks they were doing with the Statue of Liberty imagery.
I tried to do some thinking about this, and I'm reaching here, but I was thinking, like, it really does evoke this, like, go-to marketing trope that, like, beauty is somehow, like, liberatory
Hmm,
or patriotic or,
mhm.
like, even feminist, and that goes back to, like, the, now debunked myth that Elizabeth Arden handed out red lipsticks to the suffragettes as they were marching in
I've never
1912 for
heard
the right to vote. Oh my gosh, it's, like, iconic lore, part of every red lipstick campaign ever. It, like,
any of
gives
words,
lipstick this, like, this claim to feminism.
right.
So that was the closest I could get to why Statue of Liberty, I don't know. But anyway, here's my issue with the Sephora
Okay.
holiday gifting campaign, and it's that the gifts that they're suggesting are insulting and make very bad gifts. So I actually went into a Sephora this weekend, because I was getting my sister-in-law some Aesop soap, and the Aesop store is right next to a Sephora, and I was like, "Oh, let me go in." And they had all their gift displays out, and so under a banner that said skincare gifts, I found this product set from Dr. Idris, and it's called the Dr. Idris Doctor's Orders Major Fade Start Kit. And I'm just like, who would you give this gift to and say, it's the doctor's orders that you have to fix your face? I've been noticing some hyperpigmentation. You must fade. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. You have some dark spots I can't look at any longer.
Yeah. Gifts of Joy, under the banner Gifts of Joy, was the Dr. Dennis Gross Fill, Plump, and Firm kit. I cannot imagine that I would be joyful if somebody gave me that, unprompted. There's also the Boost Collagen Brighten and Firm kit with a red light mask, and the Peel Vault, the Chemical Peel Vault, um, which just doesn't seem very joyful to me. And then under the banner Gifts of Love was the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless set, which, like,
Nothing
I
says
just don't
love like
think
airbrush your face.
by telling your loved one,
Perfection.
you could use this. You could use this. I just think, like, yeah, beauty gifts are almost exclusively bad gifts, and the giftee would almost, like, exclusively be better off without them.
My problem with all of those is, as always, the copy. Like, who is coming up with these names? They're the
I
most just,
know.
like, ponderous,
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
like, why are we doing that? You simplify,
I
streamline,
know. Right.
catchy,
Thank you.
grabby, add
Yes.
phrasing, like, what are we doing? Doctor Idris, doctor's orders, da 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 da. Like, what are we doing here?
Imagine, like, giving your mother-in-law the Dr. Idris Doctor's Orders Major Fade Starter Kit. That's bad. That's bad. I'm sorry, it's bad.
It is yeah, you are implying, like, I've noticed problems. It's like, yeah, so I see these
Messy.
couple spots here, I just thought, I don't wanna look at that anymore, and I thought maybe you could
Yeah.
fix that up for
Merry
me.
Christmas to
Merry
me. I
Christmas,
don't
yeah.
have to see your
I
ugly
don't have
face
to look
anymore.
into it. dark spotted face. You faded away.
Ugh. But, yeah, that's my
Beautiful.
mess. That's it. That's all I got.
Love it.
Well, thanks for sticking with us through another ad-free
Yeah, 2 hours,
episode of the
friends.
Mess World podcast. Yeah.
Hope you had a nice Thanksgiving if you're in America.
Yeah, and maybe we will, see you on Monday, December 1st for our
Hell yeah.
doppelganger chat if you wanna dive deeper into the world of mirrors with
Yeah,
us.
if you're ready to see evil twins everywhere you look from now on, get into
Mhm.
it.
They are
They're
everywhere. Oh my
everywhere.
god.
You can't
Everywhere.
stop seeing them, including in your own mirror, I'll tell you that.
Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.